What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today, and we are back finally for a bit more league racing action here on F1 2017. This is SRL here for round number 6 of the Canadian Grand Prix. Here's the driver standings to familiarise yourself. Ryan still has a comfortable 15-point lead over Warden. We're still down the bottom there, and of course Force India still lead the way in the constructors. Stu McLaren a slump there in 5th anyway, but I just want to point out, apologies for the lateness of this video, probably the next few league racing videos. They'll probably be uploaded fairly quickly because my work has just been a bit more of a priority at the current moment, as you see through the qualifying highs, get dive bombed there by Jetson during qualifying, which was starting to rain, as you can tell on your screen. Now, it was pretty much a game of try who was to get out first and try and set a lap time in these conditions. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, with the uploading of the videos, they'll be coming out fairly quickly. So don't panic. There will be plenty more videos coming out. I've still got to maybe do a few voiceovers on some of them and maybe do a few editing on them. But hopefully, I'll be able to catch up very shortly. But here we are, going through on my one and only qualifying run. So yeah, Jetson passed me on the warm-up lap, you could say, on the warm-up lap. But basically, I just had to sit in behind him and just hope, think hopefully I could get a great lap time in. I mean, the weather conditions were not brilliant, and I'm not the best in wet weather, or I've not had a lot of wet weather practice, but you know, maybe hopefully this might be a great lap and could put us high up in the order. And Jetson did apologise afterwards, after the qualifying run, and he just pretty much said, sorry, mate, he just wanted to get a lap in to set a good time. And I get that. If I were Jetson, I probably would have done the same thing, so I totally get that. As Mitchie now sets provisional fastest time, but we've just taken so cautiously through the final chicane here. As Ryan now goes pole, we'll jump into P2 for the time being. But, I did consider maybe going off for another lap, but you can just see I think the weather's really starting to take effect now. Warden now jumps to second. I think Neon Tridome jumped up into P3, so basically that was nearly everything qualifying done, as Zombie retiring during that second lap there. I think I'm not sure whether he crashed or not, but you can just see now DRS is disabled, so basically anybody that was caught out during that run or had a corner cut, you're basically dead. You've got no chance of setting a great time. You just basically, if you're one of the corner cutters, they got your laps invalidated, you just got to try and salvage something, as Penske just hits the wall coming through the final chicane and nearly interferes with Ryan's qualifying lap. But managed to get in there and obviously set the fastest time. But yeah, pretty much the rain set in for the majority of it. You can see there's the timing screens. There is a few, I should be able to scroll down here in a second. Hopefully I do. It'd probably take a couple of seconds. But there are a few guys that are down the order that did get their lap times invalidated. You can see there, like, there's Jetson, and yeah, he got his lap time. Zombies, another one. I think Jared is another one. Ben was an interesting one, as Mitchie, that's how he retired. Thankfully, it was during the Inters part of the qualifying session. But Ben was down the order in P8 on the super soft tyres. He probably kept it went a little bit too long, the waiting time to get it out and to get a lap done quickly. So he's probably one of the last few guys out there. So basically, I was watching the others on the timing screen and the thought that they were having a run on the Inters. Thought may as well have a little bit of a run on the Inters just to see what they were like. And I mean, I wasn't really sure what to expect really, but come the race, there possibly is a bit of rain forecast, so we'll have to wait and see. But just you can see clawing through here, a few oversteer moments coming through to 3 and 4. When we complete our first lap, it's not going to be relevant anyway for some of us. For the other guys that had their laps invalidated, it'll definitely count for them. But for all of us that have already qualified on the tyres, we have to start on them. There's Jetson having a bit of a moment, actually get our lap time invalidated there. And that's I think that possibly it's one of the Toro Rosses. I'm not sure whether it was Conrod or it's LSEM Iron Toucan, which is formerly Ruth Nick Bird, if you haven't really caught up with the news much. It's been a long while, but yeah, basically that was pretty much the end of qualifying, and yeah, nothing much we could do there. So there's a few other guys finishing last. Penske, and again, a bit of sideways coming around the wall of champions there again. But pretty much celebrating and hitting the wall as he crosses the line. Warden there just having a bit of fun. I mean, it matters little really, so just damages his front wing, doing a few burnouts on the front straight. Probably having a bit of fun. So in the end, with a bit of luck going our way, we do start in P4. So pretty impressive. Evan Mitchie in P5. Ryan is on pole. Like I said, a few guys down the order. Jetson actually has a 5-place grid penalty for collision with New Zealand Ryan. So his day has just pretty much started horribly. You can see all the there's like a few people got in their lap times invalidated, mainly because of that final chicane. But as we come to the race, you can see on the indicator, the weather indicator, there is forecast of some rain a little bit later on in the race. Now, I think basically the guy, like I said, the guys who in the top 8, you basically had to start on the tyres you set your lap times on. All the other guys that started their times on the inters, they could pretty much start on whatever tyre you want. So, I mean, for some of us, it might be a bit risky, let's just say. I was originally planning on doing the 2-stop, and it probably included the weather conditions as well, but it probably will change later on. But as we head off now on the formation lap, as you do, people are just taking the piss. There goes Warden, completely missing the first couple of corners. You can completely understand that. Like I said, no one really enjoys the formation lap. I mean, some do. As you can see, there's a few guys already being disqualified. I think, I can't remember who that was being disqualified, but yeah, nothing much really happened through the formation lap. So I think we're all set now for round 6 of SRL APAC. It is 5 red lights. Let's do it around Canada, and it's a pretty good start compared to Neon Tridone. The 2 Force India boys are battling up the front there, and Neon just has the right line into turn 1. 2 Force India boys, and Warden looks like he's got the jump there on Ryan, so great start for him. Pomps is already up there in the P5 as well, but let's go through there. Oh no, we've lost Jared already. So there's been a bit of carnage already in the first couple of laps. That's just coming through now, turn 5, a little bit sideways, still hanging on to the, sorry, turn 6 I should say, and now 7. So still hanging on to the rear of Neon Tridome. This is what I really wanted to do for the most of the race. Nice and close there with Neon up into the hairpin at turn 10. It's running through the final chicane now. Pretty much survived the first lap, and Poms is under a little bit of a battle now from Tim Marnik, who's starting to make his way through in the super soft tyres. Probably won't factor in early on, but he may factor in a little bit later in the race. He's the only one on the super softs that did a proper qualifying lap. But now, as you can see now, getting the first warning. It's easily done around turn 3 and 4, quite easily, as we're setting a purple sector. I was really excited to get a purple sector, but I wasn't really too excited there. And still hanging on to the rear of Neon Tridome there, who's starting to feel the rears already. It's a bit slidey all over the place, but now it's coming through the hairpin now. Still hanging on to the rear. The top guys are not getting too far away yet, but they will eventually start to pull away. Just trying to see what we can do. Don't get DRS yet, but just trying to follow the slipstream of Neon Tridome. I think he knew that I wanted to get his slipstream, and very smart of Neon to do that. But get an okay run there through the final chicane as well. But it won't be too long before Ben is right up my rear end. You know, being my best ever qualifying result in SRL, I wanted to really take full advantage of this and just hope really that nothing else happened as we mess up that turn 3-4 again. Then get another lock up through a turn 5 as the Neo gets a little bit more slidey. So his car's not really working well at the moment, I don't think, on those rears. So he'd be probably burning them up a little bit too early there. That was a dead set corner cut there from myself, so that's the second warning for me. You see now Ryan and Warden are starting to pull away. Still hanging on to the Neon in P3. With a little slide there going into turn 1. There's a few guys way down the pack. Not sure who the car is. The dot is way behind, but trying to get a good run through here. Nice bit oversteery there. I was taking all the risks I could take, and as we get another warning, it's now first 3-second time penalty in the final chicane. I mean, I was starting to feel the pressure from behind, but let's have a look at the replays on board with the pole sitter, New Zealand Ryan. Pretty relatively good even start between the two Force India boys, but you can see Warden just had the preferred line. Ryan tried it to go right around the outside, but just didn't quite have enough. He's still hanging on here going into turn 3 and 4. They're hanging on to each other, they're both Force India boys, so yeah, nice start from both of them. But now on board we go with replay with Mitch. He's on board. Again, he was another one that surprised everybody really, including myself, up in P5, but he's getting a little tag there from someone. Possibly the other Red Bull of HO, possibly, or Jared, but that was Ben going up the inside there. But you see the proximity arrow that was behind, it's pretty much disappeared because of what happened with Jared. See if maybe we can siphon from a bit further behind. Here's a replay from Penske. He's on board. Relatively an okay start. Also, I should point out that this was probably Penske's first race without traction control on, so starting to turn things off. There's a bit of wing damage. Oh, that'd be why. A little bit of a tangle there with that possibly was HO. Didn't get the move done on Iron Toucan, but had to give it back because of an illegal overtake. Still hanging on there. Now dies it up the inside here at turn 6. And see, Iron Toucan goes a bit wide there. I'm not sure whether he actually got a tap or not, but we'll have to wait and see. He's on board with HO. This will probably give us the best view. Excuse me. Into turn 1, so that will explain why Mitchie got a little bit tagged there in turn 1. It was a little bit of a lag for Mitchie, but oh no. And yeah, it's really unfortunate for Jared there. And HO's also got front wing damage, so that's a disaster for him. His zombie hunter started way back in the field in P13. So he'd be looking to make a few spots. He's on the soft tyres. A few of the guys at the rear will be definitely on the soft tyres, going as long as they can to try and avoid any chaos, but somebody runs a little bit right on the grass. On the inside of... That was Jetson, but Jared, he just missed Jared. I don't know how the hell he didn't get involved in that, but really only gained one spot, and that's HO really struggling there. Actually ghosted for a little bit. Jetson got up the inside. Now, we might have a look up the inside of HO, but gives him a little touch. And now Matt will probably have a look at my teammate going around the outside of him, and makes it pretty simple, really. As you can see, Ben, that was a nice slide moment there from Poms. And he'll be looking here up the inside here into turn 10. Goes very late under brakes. Just manages to hold it, but Poms may have a bit more traction with those ultra soft tyres, and just holds on for the time being, but whether there's a little difference in the wing and in the downforce side of things, I'm not sure, but look at the straight line speed that Ben's got going into the final chicane. That absolutely mucks it up, the final chicane, and that gives Poms a bit of momentum there going into that final chicane. Now go side by side down the front straight. Poms should have the line here as long as Ben holds it right around the outside. And he'll actually do it here. Just and gets it done. Into P5 he goes. So he's definitely one to watch out for. Now back on board with his teammate as HO still struggling there. Jetson and not have the greatest of runs with Matt. You can see HO pulling out of the way. There's a bit more chaos there. Now Zombie's gone. Jetson's gone well and truly off there at the hairpin. That was a little bit awkward. Nearly 3-4 wide there. Now Zombie having a look here at Conrad. Quite have enough here. Might have to do the switch back. Yes, he does. Nice one from Zombie. And fairly simple up the inside there for him. Back into P11. Now, he's starting to go after, is that Matt, my teammate? As we cut a bit further on, as actually gets a great run compared to my teammate coming out of the final chicane. We're getting lap 3 now. Should hold it around here in the inside, but Matt will have the outside line. Might have to do it again, and again, he's going to be successful. So that's 2 out of 2 now for Zombie. See if he can hold it through here. Just again, so let's put him up into P9, I think it was. But now you can just see on lap 5, Ben is really starting to put the pressure on me. They're coming in through the corners, but we're not leaving the corners. Still get plenty of good traction coming out of them, and as we get our 4th warning there of the race. So basically I was just doing everything I can to hopefully stay in front of Ben as we get now a 5th warning. So the warnings are really starting to stack up, and I literally was doing everything in my power to just stay in front of him as Neon got a little bit sideways now. Now Ben's starting to a little bit more of a look here up in the turn into the 10-10, but it doesn't quite have enough. But just look at the traction we've got coming out of that and that hairpin, and that was pretty easy drive there. But Ben will have straight line speed. Here's Zombie making the move again on Iron Toucan. Not quite. Probably not quite have enough this time to make it 3 out of 3, but he might have a good run here through 3 and 4. Has to corner cut that, but just has to hold back behind. And now back on board with Ryan. There's a big moment for Warden, our race leader. He may have got a bit of front wing damage because of that slide. Now back we go. This battle's still going with Zombie and Iron Toucan. He's squeezing him right into the grass here. Now coming into the turn 10, still squeezing. It's going to bring, is that Matt into the mix here. Just manages to hold on, but now he should have DRS and should be able to get this move done. But Iron Toucan, there's not much difference between these two. He's going to have to hopefully have to hope he makes a mistake. I'll get my words out in a minute, but Iron Toucan had a better run coming out of that chicane, and now coming into the end of lap 7, beginning lap 8, that proximity arrow is starting to get a lot more close, and Neon's starting to pull away just a little bit. I thought Ben was going to have a look up the inside there, but I actually had to cut the corner, and that was actually my second 3-second time penalty. So now I'm really starting to feel the pressure, and I'm just doing everything in my power to just keep him behind and just make a tiny, tiny mistake coming into turn 6. He's going to have to do the crisscross, but oh, Neon spun. Neon has spun, so that's 2 easy moves there for Ben. Up into P3 he goes. We pretty much stay where we were. Had Neon not spun, we could have easily stayed up there in the... we probably would have dropped back to P5, but just trying to hold on with Ben here coming into the hairpin. He runs a little bit wide compared to me. I run right to the apex, but get a little bit too oversteery there, and I think he'll be starting to pull away now. Those tyres will be starting to feel it now, and just see on the straights here, he's probably just got a tad more compared to me. And now it's been a bit of a predicament, and it's like, again, mark up the final chicane there, but this is the replay from Ben. Again, thought about it, but decided against it by the looks of things, and you can just see here coming through this section here, the crisscross, and you can see Neon just spinning right into the path, and thankfully for the ghosting system, Ben, thankfully, he'd be thankful that there's the ghosting system worked, but I'm really racking up the warnings here, and still trying to hang on with Ben. It was really a great battle all around to keep him behind, but you can see the rears are starting to feel it a lot more. As now I got my think that's my 8th warning so far. Again, I was doing everything in my power to just keep with Ben, but these tyres probably won't be lasting too much longer, and I was wondering when the top guys were going to pit, as that's Mitchie, and a bit sideways. That was actually Neon coming into the pits to fix that damage. Now, Penske has got a great run here down to the front straight and should get it done. Yes, he does. So up into P6 for Penske. Doing all right so far with no traction control on, so really great effort. Now, they're still going here with Zombie and Iron Toucan. Zombie up the inside. Just gets it done now. So now we can give a bit of fresh air, start to pull away. But my teammate is under a bit of pressure from Iron Toucan. He did get the move done as well, but now he's starting to think about it on Zombie. Look at the straight line speed in that McLaren. But as he comes through the final chicane, quite have the greatest of runs there. They'll give Zombie the motivation to get back up the inside here in turn 1. Going to give him space. Not much left. So he goes through it and again does the cruise cross. And might do it well here. There's a little bit of banging of wheels there between these two. I think Zombie's going to do it now. So Matt thought about doing it around the outside, but that's not done. But now actually gets caught up with Iron Toucan as well. And actually drops a spot with Conrad. So, Penske, he'd be starting to feel those rear tyres as well. The weather wasn't really too far away, I don't think, as Mitchie goes up the inside here. But he's still going to go side by side here down the back straight with Penske. These two are going to be at loggerheads coming into the final chicane. Who wants to blink first? Very cautious leader. Still going side by side, but Penske doesn't give him much room there. Has to barge him out of the way. And now we've got another 3-second time penalty for cutting the chicane. So we're really starting to build up the penalty-wise. But look at this. Ryan is all over the back of his teammate, Warden. Might have to do it around the outside here at the hairpin. Brakes really deep. Doesn't quite have enough, but he might have a bit more drive here. I think Warden is starting to suffer a little bit more with that front wing damage. And especially when I don't think the clouds are starting to gather a little bit. It's going to be a case of who's going to blink here again. Warden doesn't want to, but he has to, I think. And Ryan takes the race lead back. But now coming on to lap 11. Get a little bit sideways. The tyres are starting to feel it a lot more. And I think they're about 50% now. But just sliding literally through these corners here. Just trying to do everything. And now you can see on the screen just the tiny spots of rain that started to appear. So it wasn't quite wet enough, and you've probably seen the distance. Ben is really starting to gather in the race leaders. So their tyre wear will be probably starting to feel it as well. Again, taking it nice and cautiously through here. I was hoping to do what the top guys were going to do and hopefully pit at the same time as them. But as you can see down the bottom of the screen, my worst nightmare was about to be realised when I lost connection, which really, really pissed me off at that time. Because I thought I was in the best position, hopefully, possibly in a bit of chance to get my best result in SRL, and it's all gone to waste because my internet decided to not bother, really. So, but never fear, I do have highlights from the rest of the race. And Zombie's really giving Penske a run for his money here, coming into the final chicane. Not the final chicane, the hairpin. Right around the outside. The rain's still coming down only a little bit, but Zombie still hanging on to the rear of Penske. Now coming down the back straight here. Should have DRS up his sleeve. The Penske's all over it. Covers the inside line. Heading down into the final chicane. Has to settle in for now, but you'll be hoping Penske is a shocking run. He doesn't have the greatest of runs, actually, through the final chicane. He squeezes in right to the wall. Nearly a Jensen Button, Lewis Hamilton moment from, I think, 2011. But just manages to hold on. what is it with these two? They're always fighting in other leagues, but Penske gets a little bit sideways and I think has to give up the spot. But now, you see on Ben's screen, Warden actually came into the pits on lap 13. Possibly came in for a set of inters, I'm not really sure. We might see a bit later, but Mitchie, you see Neon Tridome starting to make a bit of a comeback through the field now. So he's up into P8, back into P8, not Neon up into P7. Now be chased out the Penske. Now Ben starting to put pressure on Ryan, who's sliding his way through the final, the hairpin there. But the tyres are definitely starting to feel the pinch, I think, a little bit. This is definitely the move that everybody wants to see. Ben up the inside of Ryan. Take up the inside, but Ryan actually pits at the exact same time. So I think his tyres were dead set shot. Possibly another one who went on to the intermediates, but to be fair, it doesn't look really intermediate conditions as Penske gets passed there by Neon Tridome. Probably see that the dries are still got plenty of grip up in them, and now Neon's putting the move here on Warden on the inters, who's still battling, really battling for Warden, and Penske, look at the amount of sideways action Warden's getting. Ignore the glitch. It's actually, yeah, that's better. It should be the green sidewall, not the purple sidewall, but the outside Penske goes and gets it done at the hairpin. So it's just, I don't think it's really quite right for inters at this stage. As Mitchie decides to come in and pit early. I think we'll wait and see what he does for the race, but I think his tyres were starting to feel the pressure as well. But what tyre did he put on? It's the real question, and he's going for a set of inters. It's not quite wet yet at this stage, and that's a big risk. You can easily burn your inters up very, very quickly, or your wets for that matter. Now Penske comes in on lap 15. We see what he's going to go on. Got a little bit held up there, I think, with Poms coming at the same time, but I think inters were for him. So you see now lap 17 actually. Ben struggling through the hairpin at turn 10. I think he knows it's about time to come in and change onto the inters. I think the weather started to really turn a little bit more now. So in he comes, intermediate tyres going on, yes, and away he goes. So he's got a fair gap behind to the next car, which I think is his teammate, who's now into the lane as well. So he's going to have to, well, technically double stack a little bit. So the team's not quite going to be ready yet. Not exactly quite like what Red Bull were like in China in F1, in the real life F1 in 2018. But you can see Ryan, oh, he's going to have to miss that final chicane there. Very, very lucky there. And then on the next lap, does the exact same thing, just struggling with that final chicane. It just has to slow it down to avoid copping a penalty that actually Penske had put on the soft tyres. That was probably the wrong move. So now it comes back here for the inters, which is going to drop him way, way back down in the field now. And now Zombie, maybe he's starting to feel the pressure here. I think that's Warden up the inside. Yes, it is. So not sure whether Warden's still on those intermediate tyres he's been on for a while, or whether he put a fresh set on. Now he's got a bit more grip up his sleeve, and Penske copping a penalty for cutting the final chicane. Now starting to put a bit of pressure on Iron Toucan. Going really wide. Dive up the inside. What a move from Penske. Up into P11 he goes. Very big dive bomb there. But now Toucan's probably going to come back here. Little touch between these two. It's a case of who's got the better drive in these conditions. Neither of them want to give up the space here or the position. But Iron Toucan just nudges himself in front here. And Penske's not quite done yet. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. But, Toucan does not have the greatest of runs into the final chicane. That'll give Penske a bit more motivation here up into turn 1. To hold off the position again. Up the inside he goes and gets just done. So I think now he can settle for P11 at this stage. of the race. Now Mitchie coming in on lap 26. I think it is. Yeah, lap 26. Because it didn't rain for too long. It did start to dry up a little bit. And a few guys were starting to... I know he's going for another set of intermediate tyres, but it's probably not quite getting close to dry yet. But there's my AI car.
For the rest of the race, I was just cruising. Honestly,
I just wanted to see it again because I'm just so pissed off, really. As you can see now, Matt is coming out of the pit lane, really struggling. He's actually put on the ultra soft tyres because it is changeable conditions at the moment, and Penske gets a fairly simple move there up at P9. So Zombie now comes back in again as a bit of a battle through the pit lane with Warden, and actually Warden got the position as well. So that's something new you never see, but he's going to go for the dry tyres, ultra softs for him. Warden is going for the super softs and still comes out ahead of him, quite a fair margin actually. But it's a case of what tyres you're on, because now Mitchie going up the inside here. Palms is on the ultra soft tyres. Just who knows who's got the better grip in these conditions. Dry tyres may actually work. Now Penske come under attack from, is that Matt, my teammate, who's doing the best job he can to get some more points for McLaren. And he gets that move done, actually. And you'll be able to see here, I think he starts to pull away a little bit. No, Penske's still holding on to him for now. Matt trying to break the slipstream here. But he's still got plenty of speed here. And I think Penske's still going to continue on. This is the last lap of the race, so he may as well. Now, a few guys did gamble on the dry tyres. We can see now the Zombie passing Iron 2 can, I think it was. Now he's going to have a look here at Jetson, who's decided to stay out onto intermediate tyres, but it might not work as Warden in front. It's a case who got the better drive out of these two, and I think just maybe Zombie, yes. So, and he actually gets DRS as well. So Jetson really trying everything he can to keep in touch with Zombie. Up he goes into, I think it'll be P5. But it'll be a case of where he stays in the positions for penalty wise. But in the end, it's Ben from Ryan, and well, it says they're Warden on the screen. This is actually from Ben's video, but because I didn't have any footage whatsoever. But it actually turned out to be, I think, Neon Tridome or something like that, because there was some issue with the penalties or something. But yeah, that was certainly an interesting race nonetheless anyway, but I'm just so pissed off at my internet company. But here's the championship standings now. Ryan has an 11-point lead over Ben. Warden another 10 points behind, but you can see they're still down in 13th. Actually lost points again to Penske. He gained another 1 point on us. Constructors, Force India starting to pull away from Ferrari, and McLaren is still holding on to 5th for the time being, but... yeah, what more can I say? So, really, if you did enjoy this video, what was most of it, anyway, then be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. Comment down below, as always, on what you thought about that race. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more league racing content on F1 2017, plus plenty more video gaming content. All my social media links will be down in the description. You can always follow me on my Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. They're all down there. But for the moment, guys and girls, until the Austrian Grand Prix, which is next, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.